One of the things I like doing is giving people knowledge so they can differentiate better. I'm talking about tell the difference between different types of foods and to teach you things that are really important versus not very important, various links between cause and effect. But today we're going to differentiate between potato chip and a French fry. Which one is better? Which one's worse? And you know they're going to have a cheat meal. So you can help them decide which food that will create the least damage. Now, if we just take a look at the glycemic index for a moment in relationship to a potato and the different types of potato products, we know that heat breaks down a starch. If you consume a raw potato, on the glycemic index, it's pretty much a 0. So it's going to have 0 effect on your blood sugars. It's not going to even be digested. So you can consume all the raw potatoes you want. It's not going to be a problem. But as soon as you start heating that potato, that's when things start to go downhill because the heat breaks down the starch and it releases the sugar. Now, if we look at the glycemic index, below 55 is low, above 70 is high. So if we start up here, instant potatoes is like 97. It's pretty high. 100 is glucose, okay? Now, table sugar, because table sugar is like half glucose and half fructose, which fructose is about, I think it's 16, and glucose is 100. So table sugar is right around, I think, 72, but glucose is 100. Instant potatoes is pretty close to glucose, so it's pretty high. Then we get baked potatoes, okay? That could range between 84 and 110, depending on how long you bake it. And then you have mashed potatoes, it's 82. Of course, these are very high. And then we get into fried potatoes or French fries, okay? 75, it's on the high side. Roasted potato, 69. Boiled potatoes could range between 60 and 82, depending on how long you boil it for. And then you have the potato chip, which is actually 54. It's actually a lot lower on these other ones, and it's actually on the low side on the glycemic index. So if we just compare potato chip to a French fries, a potato chip is much, much better, okay, if we just look at that. But now we need to look at all the other variables that can make things worse. Okay, so let's take a look at these kettle chips right here. Organic sea salt. Organic potatoes, organic safflower oil, and or sunflower oil and sea salt. Pretty basic. This is actually much healthier than most potato chips because they cook it in soy oil or canola, which is GMO. So you have the glyphosate, which is the herbicide in GMO foods, like it's in soy oil, corn oil, cottonseed, canola. And a lot of times in the back of the label, it'll say that it is cooked in any one of these oils. And it might have a so-called healthy oil, but then it has the other oils too. So you really don't know exactly what you're getting. Then you have the extra sugar and hidden sugars in the potato chips that a lot of people don't even realize that are in the potato chips. So you have dextrose, maltodextrin, and then you have chemicals, MSG, as modified food starch. And then you have preservatives and other chemicals. So you really want to look at everything. Now I'm going to put a link down below of my video that I did on French fries because there's a lot of additional things in French fries that go way beyond just potato and oil, especially if you're going to a fast food restaurant. Not to mention, people tend to add ketchup with French fries. Okay, so that's another variable they have to look at. If you're consuming French fries at a fast food restaurant with ketchup and usually a burger, which is meat, that glycemic index is going to be way, way higher than 75. Okay, so it's going to create a lot of other issues as well. What I'm trying to do is just kind of give you all the factors so you can decide yourself, based on all this data, what would be the least damaging, okay? Now, the other variable that you need to look at is when a French fry or a chip is consumed. French fries are usually consumed with a meal. Chips are usually as a snack between the meal. So right there, you're going to actually add another spike in insulin. Now, if you were to make a decision of when to consume that chip and you had this after the meal compared to a snack, and you're doing one meal a day, that would be a much better decision, especially if it was cooked in olive oil or avocado oil. Now let's take a look at one more thing, not to depress you, but when you consume starches, potato chips, French fries, or crackers, bread, cookies, which usually are cooked above 250 degrees Fahrenheit, it creates a chemical called acrylamide, which does cause cancer. Now, according to the International Agency for Research on Cancer, they say it's a probable human carcinogen. And then we have the U.S. National Toxicology Program, which has classified acrylamide as reasonably anticipated to be a human carcinogen. Then you have the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency that said it's likely to be carcinogenic to humans. Now, there are a ton of things in the environment that you're constantly being exposed to that could trigger cancer. And it really depends on the quantity of these foods that you're consuming. So in summary, if we were to compare these two, the potato chip wins above the French fry. Thanks for watching. So if you want more knowledge on how to create a healthy body, subscribe now and get daily notifications.